Previously on for the love of God. Oh man, how is it gonna play out? It's in 2D. What is happening? Desk share all the way up into the sky. No, no, no!
What country you from? What ain't no country I ever heard of? English, motherfucker! Do you speak it? Describe what
Tails
looks like.
What?
Does he look like a bitch?
What?
Oh, well, allow me to retort.
Where's the fun in that?
And here we are, we're now back on Kronos? Wait, what the fuck? Okay, Sega, I see where your head's at, you lying assholes. You know, it's not really fair of you to say that this game has 5 islands all over the advertising, when the fourth one, in quotation marks, is literally just the second half of the first island that you blocked off, and there's nothing in it. It's not even like they tried to hide that this was the second half, because you can literally just see the other half right there. And even then, you're able to walk around the place that you fought Giganto in. Oh, but don't worry, it gets better. If you stand right here, you're able to see another outline of what seems to be another island. I wonder what this is leading to. The only thing that you really do on this island is climb these 6 towers. What the fuck? Okay, but actually, let's take a step back and look at all of this. To me, the reason that Chaos Island did not work with all the 2D sections was that they're put onto an island that is built on exploration and freedom. And the 2D in that island just does not give you any of those because all you can do is move left and right. Yes, the same applies here, but because your objective in this island is to just knock out the 6 towers, I think it works a lot better than it does on Chaos Island. Not only that, but most of the platforming here is actually in 3D, which, honestly, is probably the best platforming in the entire game. I mean, the whole island is just built on you vertically climbing these huge towers. It makes sense that the platforming was focused on way more than anything else on this island. And in these platforming segments, compared to every other one in the game, it feels like it has a purpose. You know that if you fall down at any point, you are screwed and you are gonna lose some serious ground. And there's a massive orchestra playing this honestly beautiful song. Again, this island does directly go against the whole fundamental design of this game, but to me, it's a lot of fun. Overall, the platforming does a really good job combining all of Sonic's moves that you can do in this game and allowing you to use them in these platforming segments. One of these towers is actually combat oriented. I do think that this tower was a lot of fun, but I do have one problem with it. So back on Chaos Island, you might have been wondering why I brought up the cross slash, and that's because on this island, it's a pain in the ass. So you activate this move by boosting and then pressing the bottom face button. The problem is that bottom face button is also the jump button, and this move pushes you to the left, and multiple times on this island, you will accidentally throw out this move, and it will cost you a very heavy fall. Okay, but the last thing of note that I want to mention on this island. Yes, this island is very empty and there's not a whole lot in it other than these platforming segments. But there's something really ominous about walking around this wasteland. A beautiful green forest that has nothing in it. There is just this entire untouched land that nobody but you has been on. Or you can abuse the drop dash. And now here we are, the final island of Sonic Frontiers. Oranges, it's fucking oranges. Here on Pineapple Island, things will start looking a little bit familiar at this point, because, yet again, we see another sign of this game being heavily rushed. Because, just like Rhea, this looks exactly like Kronos. Let me ask you this, am I on the 5th island or the 1st island? I'm on the 4th. In my opinion, having 3 of the game's biomes be the exact same really does hurt the replayability of this game, because when my options for the islands are literally just grass, sand, volcano, grass, there's not a lot of variety in here. However, what I can still appreciate is that this island still does have a lot of unique mini-bosses. It has brand new forms of the ninja enemy, this time being way more difficult than before. Tower also gets a couple redesigns and additions, but there's 3 in particular that I want to point out. The wolf enemy. This guy fucking sucks. It circles around you, and then all you have to do is parry it away, and then homing attack it, and it's dead. This is honestly like the worst mini-boss in the game. Next up is Caterpillar. The Caterpillar sucks you in onto 2 rails, and then you have to grind around him and only hit the blue orbs and not the red ones. And then he tries to run away while shitting his pants, and then you beat the shit out of him. Honestly, not a bad one, but it was kind of eh. This next one, though, is one of my favorite mini-bosses in the entire game. You activate this pillar, and then this terrifying, taunting, tenacious, toxic, trashy, tentacle threat says hello. But genuinely, when I first came across this thing, it was horrifying. He starts stealing your rings, draining your life, essentially, and you end up chasing him through completely unique platforming segments, and all of them are really fun. It adds a lot more tension to the whole experience, because it feels like you're just playing the game, but now with the ghost looming over you, the stress is a lot higher here. However, not only are these mini-bosses a lot harder, but even the standard enemies get a really big boost. The metallic shields that they defend themselves with are now able to hurt you, and the spike attack can also catch you off guard. However, other than these mini-bosses, nothing really interesting happens on this island. We are now at the 5th island of the game, and it feels like it really needed a fun twist. Now, yes, the 4th island was a completely different direction, but adding something new to this island would have been very welcome. We don't even have a first meeting of sorts with the Titan of this area, and we still have to do the exact same busy work that we've been doing throughout the entire game. There's only one other area of this island that I think does well, and that... the cyberspace levels on this island are perfect. The quality of these stages skyrocket through the roof compared to the other islands. Now yes, in terms of control, Sonic still doesn't feel the best in cyberspace. Except for something that I recently found out, Sonic can not only roll in cyberspace, but it does actually have quite a bit of momentum. There is a little bit of a weird quirk to it though. If you just hold down, Sonic won't actually start moving, but then when you hold down and also right, then Sonic starts rolling and picking up some speed. But just going through these levels, all of them feel super fleshed out and well designed. Starting with 4-1, this level is all 3D, feels very big and spacious, and there's a good amount of both spectacle and optional paths that you can go to. 4-2, the fan favorite. It starts out with a huge road that you're able to explore, and then it opens up tenfold as you have so many optional paths to go on. My only criticism is that I don't really feel like any of them are faster or slower, but the platforming I do in them is a lot of fun, puts your skills to the test, and really lets you breathe it all in. 4-3 feels like a Sonic Adventure 2 level, as it borrows some of the level gimmicks from those stages, and also providing a lot of pathways and secrets for you to find. 4-5 is built on a really genius idea, using Sonic's insane forward momentum in cyberspace to catapult you onto one of 3 paths. These boost panels shoot you really high in the sky, and you have a lot of time to choose which of these 3 paths that you want to go on, and you're able to see what lies ahead in these paths while you're in the air. And 4-9 is actually really interesting because it utilizes the skateboard for most of the level, and halfway through the level, they reel it back in with a platforming segment, and so shooting you back off into the skateboard. And honestly, I can go more into detail about these stages, but overall, they're just great. But anyways, we exit cyberspace and we return back to Tomato Island, and we have a whole bunch of platforming segments ahead of us. And I'm happy to say that most of the platforming on this island goes back to how it was on Kronos and Ares Island, where most of it is 3D and spectacle based, while also providing the player with some input and control. However, there is still some 2D on this island, but it's not nearly as intrusive as it was on Chaos Island. However, something on this island that is undoubtedly worse than it was on Chaos Island is the cutscene quality. Even on Chaos Island, it's good animation, it's pretty fluid, but when you get to this island, everyone just looks like they have a stick up their ass and they're just slowly spinning to look at the next person. It feels slow and lazy, and like, I get it, they were running out of time here, but this just looks really bad. But when it comes to this island, I'm really running out of things to say because almost nothing happens here. For example, the missions. On Kronos Island, we had the grass cutting mission. Ares Island, it was saving the Cocos. Chaos Island had Bridge the Gap. On this one, you just play Galaga. And it's like cool, I guess. Like, it's a little bit fun, but like, what happened to, you know, the actual mission? And after the several hours on this island, we still haven't seen the Titan a single time. Well, I got all the Chaos Emeralds. Let's see what happens. It's just a Giganto recolor. What the hell happened? Like, I'm not even gonna try and make a cool cinematic thing of this Titan, because we literally have no other footage of this guy on this island until he rises out of the ground. I literally know nothing about you other than I'm supposed to kill you. So anyway... out of all of the Titan battles, this one confuses me the most. Supreme here can only be properly fought until you destroy one of the drone things, then he hits you, like it forces you to get a hit if you destroy them. Then you parry these beams that go out of his face, and then you can attack him, and repeat this over and over again. Overall, the Titan battles are good, but I think the next best step would have been not to limit them to small arenas or auto sections, but make it so that you can actually fight the Titan across the entire island. Kind of like Wyvern, except on the ground and not in the sky. Because 3 of the 4 Titans are just in a small arena. I feel like they could have been a lot more unique if they employed ideas like Wyvern did. But even then, that's just an idea. I'm sure the Sonic team is able to come up with something a lot more creative than I just did in 5 seconds. But of course, that isn't the final boss. The true final boss is what's lying behind the censored image. What the fuck? Okay, so the big evil enemy of this game is the moon. Literally in the credits, NASA is listed. That is hilarious. But genuinely, whose idea was it to make the hacking mission the final boss of this huge game? This is just the lamest possible way to end this game. And this thing keeps on monologuing the entire time, but because there's no subtitles and the sounds of the bullets are super loud, I can't hear it or understand it. At least the music is fucking phenomenal. Like, this song is amazing. And I will say, this was actually very challenging. I died at least 3 times here, and I think in terms of a challenge, this is a good way to end the game, but in terms of, like, what this game is, this was just a horrible decision. In 5 minutes, this game went from badass supersonic battles to Galaga. You tell me which one you'd rather play. But now, with the end being defeated, I gotta say, I had a blast with this game. Yes, this ending was one of just the worst in a Sonic game. And ending a game like that does leave a very sour impression on a player, but when I look back on this experience, it was just a ton of fun. Yes, this game has flaws. So many flaws. Like, hundreds of flaws. This game is not polished. You can tell it is not polished. But what this game does good is better than almost any Sonic game I've ever played. And when the song One Way Dream plays in the credits, I sympathize with Sonic Team. It really felt like this was a game they wanted to make. A game that'll be so incredible that it'll put Sonic Team's name back on the spotlight. And while I don't think they would 100% reach that goal, they did a damn good job. And I can't wait to see what comes next of this. Thank you, the viewer, so much for watching this series. I have been making this since fucking December. I have been sick. I've had to go through school. I've had track practices. It's been brutal. But after all of that, I'm finally done. Thank you all so much for sticking through this. It's been a blast. I'm pretty sure that I can still fine-tune this style of reviews, but that is for future me to decide, and not me right now. Me right now is gonna go take a nap. But with all of that being said, thank you all so much for watching this review series, and I'll see you next time. Bye.